Alright, man, in society, it is your host with the most, Shadow Loke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. It does help my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate it if you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? It helps me get into the algorithm. You already know right here in this channel, we talk about anything and everything. Doesn't matter the subjects. If people, want to have the conversations, just go ahead and leave your opinions or your ideas in the comments, and we'll go ahead and do a video on it. Now, I want to say happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody out there who celebrates Cinco de Mayo. To the raza, obviously, it's an important day for the raza, even though in reality, no one's really celebrating like that in Mexico right now. But it is what it is. Now, what we wanted to talk about, or the inspiration to this video, was actually due to hearing some ignorant people speak, talk about, I don't understand why these people celebrating their holidays right here in the United States. It's not their country. Their military is whack anyways. They wouldn't be able to hang right here, and whoopty-whoopty-whoopty-wah, right? The ignorance of people, right? So I'm here to educate, the non-educated, pues. About Private Marcelino Serna, one of Mexico's most, decorated United States hero, military hero, right? Marcelino Serna, who was he? He was born in Chihuahua to poverty, you know what I mean? His family didn't have no money, you know what I mean? They came from the gutter, from the ghetto, from the broke, They didn't have nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So life was rough for him growing up. So at the age of 15, he decided to come to the United States, right? He decided to, cross the border. Guy over here, right? He landed in Texas, right? Didn't know, no English, you know what I'm saying? Young buck, right? He ended up getting some low-paying jobs, just to get by, you know what I mean? It is what it is, right? But then things started getting a little bit better. He ended up moving to Colorado because in Colorado he got a better jale, so he was making a little bit of revenue, now, right? But what ended up happening was that him and a group of individuals ended up getting arrested, not because they were breaking the law or anything like that. They were actually checking their draft status, right, to see if they had enrolled into the draft, because this is the time of World War I, right? So they needed soldiers, right? So they were checking their draft status, and that's when they realized that he was not an American citizen, right? So they arrested him and stuff like that, right? And while he was incarcerated there, they gave him the option to either join the United States military or they were gonna deport him. So since he was making progress and he was already living the American dream, he didn't want to go back to having nothing and start from scratch, you know what I mean? So obviously, he agreed to join the United States military, right? And there he was sent to Kansas City. I think it was Fort Lee or something like that, right? It was some camp in Kansas. The camp slipped my damn head right now. So he went there for 3 weeks of training, and then he got sent to Europe, in the Western Fronts, right, to France. Because time right there with the Germans, it was all bad. If anybody that knows about World War I understands that the Germans were a powerhouse, right? They had new machine guns that people weren't used to, right? Their machine guns, which were called the Hornet's Nest, were weaponry that we weren't used to, right? So they were coming with shit that we were outgunned, we were outmatched. Let's just say that, right? They came better equipped, to guerra, right? So they were in the Western Front, right? He was assigned to Company B, 355th, 89th Defense Division. I think that was the division he was assigned to. I could be mistaken, but I think it is. And he was sent to, his first battle was in the Battle of Semija. And right there in Semija, right, they ended up getting backed into a corner, right? They were getting their asses handed to them, the U.S. was getting their asses handed to them, right? So they ended up getting backed into a corner, and their platoon already had lost 12, camaradas, right? And the trippy part about all of this is that before they even went to that battle, whatever, when he landed there, when Marcelino landed there, they realized that he wasn't a United States citizen, right? So they gave him the option if he wanted to be discharged, right? He didn't have to fight in this war. It wasn't his war. He could go home, you know? But he said, Chales, he's going to stick with his homeboys, right? So, okay, so now they're pushing him to the corner there. His homeboys get killed, you know what I mean? They lose 12 soldiers, right? So they're getting their asses handed to them, right, by the machine gun tower, right, that's hitting them. So what he tells his, you know, the one who's in charge, right, he tells his sergeant that he'll go and scout it out, right, and you know, by himself. He'll go scout it out by himself and you know, and see what's up, right, to see if there's any way around. So he goes, right, by himself, my boy. You know what I mean? And then the guy with no regard for his life or nothing like that, my boy, he ends up just, you know, going towards the tower, bro. You know what I mean? You know, bullets are hitting his helmet, all kinds of crazy shit, right? So he ends up getting close enough to the Hornet Tower, and he grabs 4 grenades, throws them in there, and bam, you know, that shit blows up. He ends up killing six Germans, and he captures 8 of them, right? So he captures 8 and he kills 6, right? So now, you know, now his platoon could move forward. Now they could move forward, and all because of his, you know, his actions, right? The lone wolf, man. The guy went in 3 weeks of training, my boy, but that fool had heart, homie. He was like, shh, I ain't scared of these mo, you know what I mean? Shit, so he proved himself right there. You think that would be it for him, right? Like, orale, you know, he already did his thing, you know what I mean? Like, that's some traumatic shit, so he probably gonna kick back. Chales. 2 weeks later, there was a bigger battle, right? And Mesoargian? Something like that, right? It was a battle that happened in September of 1918. Right? It was the biggest one, the biggest battle, you know, since then, right? It was like 1 million United States soldiers, right? The most ever, right? At that time, right? It was the biggest, you know, battle, right? So in this battle, what ended up happening is, you know, his platoon, you know, is right there, you know, they're doing their thing, right? And they're getting hit by a sniper, right? They don't know where the sniper's, you know, at, and this was sniping them, right? So, you know, Marcelino ends up spotting the sniper, right? So he goes after the sniper, he shoots the sniper, and the sniper gets wounded, right? So the sniper takes off. So Marcelino takes off, you know, behind him. He starts, you know, following this sniper guy, right? And he follows him, and the sniper leads him right to where they were all at, where they were hanging out and shit like that. So this guy, you know, he only had a pistol, some grenades, and his rifle. You know, he ends up, you know, shooting the pistol, throwing some grenades, and then, you know, going the opposite way and hitting them with his machine, with his rifle, making it seem like there's multiple people, right? But it was just him by himself. So he ends up tricking these individuals that they're surrounded and just give up. So they end up giving up, right? They throw their guns over, they surrender. He ends up, he killed 24 guys, he killed 24 soldiers, and he captured 28 of them by himself, homie. And there's witnesses to this, right? Because then his platoon ended up, you know, following him, you know, coming to back him up, and then they're like, damn, what the fuck? That you did this? So, you know, the people can't say that they're made up, too much tapatio. My boy, there's witnesses, homie. The vato did that. So, you know, he ends up getting some 2 Purple Hearts. France's medal. France gave him their highest medal, you know, that they could give a soldier, and Italy gave their highest medal that they could give a soldier to this vato, right? For his bravery and for what he did, you know what I mean? And he ended up getting, you know, some medals from the United States, but what ended up happening was that, you know, he was, you know, assigned private, right? But he couldn't move up because he wasn't a United States citizen and he didn't speak English. They couldn't move him up higher than that, and they couldn't give him the Medal of Honor because he wasn't a United States citizen, right? Even though this fool just did all of this shit for you guys and, you know, risked his life and everything. But I guess, you know what I mean? I guess that's, you know, and the only reason why he got the Purple Hearts and the medal that he got from the United States, you know, itself was because the fool in charge, he himself, I forgot his name. I think it was John J. Pershing or something like that. He himself gave the vato the medals, like, bam, you know, here you go, you know what I'm saying? Then he told them, Spencer, we can't give you the Medal of Honor because you're not a unit. Normally people don't even get the ones that we're giving you, but, we can at least give you that, you know what I mean? And so he was, highly decorated, person, Mexicano for the United States Army, you know what I mean? He ends up in another battle, ends up getting shot and injured in his legs, so he gets discharged. He lived till the age of 95. He passed away, and then when he was passed away, people protest for him, and he ended up getting the Medal of Honor, but after the fact, because he had already passed. But at least he ended up getting it, I guess. So to say that the United States can't hang, or doesn't have soldiers that could hang, or have never helped the United States or whatever, learn your fucking history, bro. Before you want to talk all that smack about the raza. The raza has done a lot for the United States, bro. A lot. If you don't want to educate yourself on the matter, then that's your pedo, But to be, coming in and saying all these ignorant comments, about an ethnicity, no ethnicity is better than no ethnicities, and you shouldn't hate on the next, ethnicity, bro. For what? You get nothing out of that, homie. But there is real soldiers and real war heroes from Mexico, not only that have fought, for our freedom and all of that in Mexico and stuff like that, but also here in the United States. But that's who Marcelino Cerda was. If you guys are interested in knowing more about his life, you guys can go check, his stuff out. I'm saying, shout out, we out.